No Man's Sky has finally released, and a polarizing reception would be putting it lightly. I have gone through tons of forums and YouTube comments alike, and I'm seeing pretty much many conversations going on, but none that are truly productive to combat the age-old statement, never give in to the hype. So here are Sharkpool Gaming's 3 quick tips to beating the pre-release hype. Firstly, let's talk about frame of reference. In simplest terms, imagine you were standing on one side of a busy highway, and there's some other guy on the opposite side. It's Kalen. You will both have different frame of references towards the road and the area surrounding. So in relation to video game hype, I like to think that the moment a game is announced, the narrative about that game begins rolling down a hill until acted upon by the release of the game. It's like Newton's fourth law of motion or something. Whatever. With so much media coverage and so many different outlets, from traditional games media to YouTubers like myself, you, the consumer, has a lot to choose from to build your own personal narrative. Your frame of reference, as you will. This is an aspect you must keep in check, observing the media you are consuming and the message they are trying to convey. Become self-aware and try to avoid the gaming echo chambers of forums and YouTube comments. So now let's touch on expectations of an experience. There are generally 4 different outcomes that expectations can fall underneath. It starts with low expectations and a bad experience, pretty much what you expect. Low expectations but a good experience, which equals a pleasant surprise. High expectations and a good experience is satisfying and fulfilling. And then a high expectations and a bad experience is bitter disappointment. When I went in to get my first of 2 tattoos, my expectations were super low because I am a big man baby. But the build up to receiving the tattoos was actually worse than the process of getting it. So it was kind of like a pleasant surprise, I guess, with like blood and stuff. But whatever. When translating this outline to video games, most of the time, especially recently, people go in with extremely high expectations and end up ultimately unsatisfied. Sometimes when the hype has died down, you gotta take a step back and actually visualize what the game is about, and if you can truly see yourself adopting it into your own gaming ecosystem. This is the final and probably most important tip for beating the hype I can possibly give you or any other human being. You must understand that the image that you build up in your head is always going to be greater than the one that someone else creates. Imagine it like this. Have you ever read a book that you thought was absolutely fantastic, and then said book becomes a movie? So you go see the movie, and you leave the theater thinking how much better the book was. This is because when you were reading the book, you were crafting the scenes and scenarios the way that you would want them. So instead, you watch someone else's rendition of those scenes. Same goes for video games. Reading previews and listening to podcasts, the industry paints a vivid picture for you to imagine what this game will be like. I know preview videos and hands-on also happen, but half of the hyping up of a game happens within your own mind. Your mind takes the outside hype and morphs it into something you truly desire. In this industry, a game is either game of the year or is trash in the eyes of the community surrounding it. But sometimes we must accept a game for what it is and what it brings to the table. Not every game is going to be the next step forward for the medium, but each game of respectable quality always at least brings something to the table that can be observed and enjoyed. For myself, I like to think of music like that. No matter how much I dislike a certain genre or song, I can always find something on a deep level to appreciate about it, whether it's the background samples layered underneath a beat or the meaning of the singer's lyrics. Unless it's State Champs or Gucci Mane, then everything they do is perfection. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is 3 ways to beat the video game pre-release hype. So if you have your own way to beat the hype, go down to the comments and let's have a conversation about that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you can be notified every single time we put a brand new video up. And as always, thank you for watching.